For those of you in the audience who have not attended one of these hearings recently, let me review our normal procedure. Staff will introduce each item for consideration. If you would like to speak, please fill out the speaker form located on the table in the lobby and indicate the item number and whether you are for or against the item. Please give the form to the clerk seated on my left. The applicant and supporters will be heard first. Those in opposition to the request will be heard next. Then the applicant may be given a chance for rebuttal. Comments should be restricted to pertinent information regarding the agenda item under discussion. If you're an individual, you will have 3 minutes for comments. If you are speaking on behalf of a group, you will have 6 minutes for comments. Speakers should move closer to the podium when their item is being presented by staff. Speakers should identify themselves clearly for the record by stating their name and address. Each speaker should be given respectful and courtesy attention. The board may ask questions of speakers or staff members. Information such as pictures, site plans, letters, etc., presented at a public hearing will be kept as part of the public record. If you have something on your cell phone you would like to show us, we'd love to see it, but you're going to have to promise to send a copy of it to staff after the meeting. Otherwise, we have to keep your cell phone for public record, and you probably do not want to give us your cell phone. All right. I will then ask for a motion from the board. Once a motion has been made and seconded, discussion will be closed to the floor. Following board discussion, a vote will be taken. During voting, board members who do not cast objecting votes are considered to have voted in support of the motion. Any person aggrieved by any decision of the Board of Adjustment may, within 15 days, file an appeal to the Board of County Commissioners through the Planning and Development Division of the Development Services Department. Okay, we're ready for our first item.
For the record, Angie Califer, Planning and Development. Item number 1 is a request for a height variance from 6.5 feet to 8 feet for a fence in the PD Plan Development District located in the Oregon Trace subdivision at 4618 Redmond Place. The Oregon Trace Homeowners Association has approved the proposed 8-foot fence height. The rear of the property abuts an open space landscape buffer drainage access easement. Several variances have already been approved by the board for 8-foot fence along Redmond. And this concludes my presentation. Should you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Do we have any questions for staff? Yes, sir.
The buffer is like what, 3 feet, 4 or 5 feet wide? How wide is that?
20.
That's 20 feet, really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
They have a 20-foot drain on Redmond in the rear. They have a 20-foot, it's on their property, is a 20-foot drainage easement. And then there's an additional 20-foot easement that belongs to the subdivision directly behind it, which is Orange Creek.
When you said that there were numerous amount of other variances that were on there, are we talking numbers here, like couple, like 3 or 4, or are you talking a lot more?
Like 5 or 6.
Recently, or?
Throughout the years, it looks as though when they replace them with the wood,
Yeah.
from the wood, it looks like they're going to vinyl, a lot of them, and they're going from 6.5 feet or 6 feet to 8 feet.
Okay.
We can confirm it with the applicant, but my guess is the subdivision behind them is on a higher elevation.
Yep.
Okay, any questions for staff?
Is this an existing fence that we're bringing into compliance, or?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's the applicant.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Hi, if you please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Patsy Mathura, and I live at 4618 Redmond Place, Sanford, Florida, 32771.
Okay,
And I have been trying to get this fence completed since April, and here I am in October. I'm a little bit frustrated about it though, but anyway. I received permission or approval from the board to replace the existing fence that is there because it is rotted at the bottom, it needs replacing. And to make it look nicer, I choose to put vinyl instead of the wood. So that approval was given to me. It's when it came to the county, then they started about the height of the fence. The existing fence that is there, which I'm replacing, right on the same spot, is already 8 feet. So I am just changing from wood to vinyl. And I don't know what is the big
Okay.
problem, because all the residents in that area, in that community, that fence at the back is one height right through.
Okay, so, just so you understand, why the county has you here, is that the ordinance says the highest fence you can have is the 6 feet, or 6.5 feet, without a variance to allow you to go higher. The person before you evidently did not get a variance, so the fence was illegally high, actually. So what they're asking you to do is get permission so that you're putting it illegally and nobody will give you any problems in the future. Otherwise, somebody could come in and tell you to tear down your new fence and replace it with a shorter fence, and we don't want to put you through all that. Okay? That's why they have you come in here tonight. Is the property behind your house taller than yours? Why, or is it the same level, or is it higher, or?
Can you repeat that?
The property behind your house. Normally, when we see requests for a tall fence, it's because the house behind them sits higher, and they're looking over the fence. So they ask for a taller fence to try to offset that.
Well, between our property and the other property, there's about more than a 6-foot space between the two. And I didn't measure the property
Okay.
fence to see how high it is.
So you're just trying to replace it with the fence the height of the fence that's already there.
Say it again?
You're just trying to you're asking for an 8-foot fence because there's already an 8-foot fence there.
Exactly. If I go to put a 6, that wouldn't match up with the other property along the line there. My neighbor's house, the other one, it wouldn't match up with theirs.
Okay, I got you. Any questions for the applicant, Mr. Attaway?
And more for staff, is this fence legally non-conforming, or did just code enforcement, they've never caught it?
I don't know. I looked in the development order for the subdivision to see what it stated regarding a fence at 8 feet, but there isn't anything in the development order.
Just slipped through
So
the
I don't know if the
Yeah.
developer at the time put it up and it was 8 feet in height, or what the situation was. But I couldn't find any permits that were 8 feet unless they received a variance.
Gotcha, thank you. That's okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? We have a motion. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, and before the county attorney jumps on me, this is not a legal conclusion, but I'm a big believer in estoppel waivers. This property owner's had a fence at this height out there without the government saying anything for years. I don't see why now putting a vinyl fence there would be hurting anybody, so I move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Everything I read here basically says we're just changing the height variance from 6.5 to 8. Do we need to be specific that it's only the rear fence, so that if the variance is approved, that they can't change the side fences to 8 feet?
The site plan, it goes towards the site plan, and site plan indicates that only the rear is going to be 8 feet.
Okay, I just want to, as long as that goes with it and everything is clear, that we don't have to put any condition, it's only the rear fence.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. All right,
Would it make you feel better if I just amended my motion to say
No,
that?
as long as the staff provided me an answer, that's perfect. Thank you.
any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Your fence is approved. You can put in your tall fence.
Is approved?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so
You still have to wait for your permit.
So what do I have to do now?
I'll call you tomorrow.
You're welcome.
Yes.
All right, next item.
Item number 2 is a request for a side yard south setback variance from 10 feet to 8.5 feet for a covered patio in the R1AA Single Family Dwelling District in the Meredith Manor Nob Hill Section subdivision located at 218 Nob Hill Circle. The proposed covered patio will be 176 square feet and will encroach 1.5 feet into the required side yard south setback. Letters of support were received from both the adjacent neighbors, and there have not been any prior variances for the subject property. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for staff?
I have a question, Mr. Chair. Sorry.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. In the variance criteria, the applicant had indicated that the previous owner had gotten a variance for an addition that encroaches, but we had said that there was no prior. I just wanted to confirm whether that was accurate or not.
I did not find any variances unless it was in our older system and it didn't cross over.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening. If you could state your name and address for the record.
My name's George Donovan, and my address is 218 Nob Hill Circle, Longwood, Florida.
Okay, is there anything you want to add to the staff presentation?
No, I have counsel with me here that's going to address any of the questions, but I think it's pretty self-evident.
Okay. Sir, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, sir. Any technical questions, anything in regards to the product, the install?
Just for the record, you state your name and
Yeah,
address.
sorry. Eric Myers, Orlando Pool and Patio by Design. I'm the
Okay.
contractor that would be installing the said covered patio.
Okay, well, let me ask that. Do we have any questions for the applicant's representative? Well, easy enough, no questions.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. Gals.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion to approve in a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Enjoy it. Thank you. You have a great day. All right, next item.
Item number,
I know, you don't hear that.
item number 3 is a request for a side street south setback variance from 25 feet to 0 feet for a fence in the R1AA Single Family Dwelling District in the San Leandro Springs subdivision located at 1623 Orlando Avenue. The subject property is a corner lot and is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Orlando Avenue and the Boyer Street side is where the variance is being sought. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. Letters of support have been received from 2 neighbors. And the proposed privacy fence will be 17 feet from the edge of pavement, and there are currently no sidewalks in place. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, but there have been several variances approved for the surrounding area for corner lots. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, just make sure I'm clear. It's going down, they want to replace the fence in the same location, and it's 17 feet or so off the roadway, and there's no sidewalk.
Yes.
Okay, any questions for staff?
So we're replacing, no, sir. Whoa. Yes, how do you fix a microphone?
Take you.
Don't break it.
Commissioner Lockhart's going to kill me.
Okay. Any questions for staff?
Moving.
Place your hands in your pockets. Okay, is the applicant present? Hi, could you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Amber Askey. I live at 1623 Orlando Avenue in Longwood, and this is my husband Corey.
Hello. Is there anything you'd like to add to staff presentation?
Nothing to add, but happy to answer questions.
Okay. Do we have any questions for the applicants? Okay, easy enough.
Thank
You
you.
can have a seat. Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. It's approved. Good luck to you. Thank you. All right, next item.
Okay, item number 4 is a request for a rear yard setback variance from 30 feet to 10 feet for a detached garage in the R1 Single Family Dwelling District in the North Tuliota subdivision located at 331 East 4th Street. The proposed attached garage will be approximately 1,140 square feet and will encroach 20 feet into the required rear yard setback. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Okay, we have any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening,
How y'all doing?
Bear to Midland.
Good.
Okay, if you state your name and address for the record.
I'm Albert Lee Dishman, I live at 331 East 4th Street, Chilliota.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to add to the staff's presentation?
No, it pretty much covers it. So we'd like to have room to be able to get in the front of the garage is the only reason we want it back so far. But, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Mr. Hadaway?
Mr. Dishman, have you chatted with your neighbors about this?
Yeah, they seem to be fine with it. Yeah, nobody's complained. We got the little sign out front. And,
Okay.
yeah, and they look, I'll guarantee.
Great, thank you, sir.
Okay,
All right.
is that your question? Okay, any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
A motion to approve, do we have a second? Do we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. It's approved. Good luck to you.
Thank you much.
All right, next item.
Good evening. For the record, Hillary Payton, Planning and Development. Item number 5 is a variance request for 3041 New Bern Cove located in the Remington Park subdivision. The request is for a side street setback reduction from 20 feet to 17 feet for a privacy fence in the R1B zoning district. The subject property is a corner lot and has 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces New Bern Cove. The Wilmington Circle side is where the variance is being sought. The request is to replace an existing wood privacy fence with a 6-foot vinyl, privacy fence in the same footprint, encroaching 3 feet into the side street setback. The proposed privacy fence would be 18.5 feet away from the sidewalk and 28 feet from the edge of pavement. The proposed privacy fence encroaches into a utility easement and will be required to meet the criteria of replacement with an estoppel letter. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. The Remington Park HOA has approved the applicant's request to replace the privacy fence in its existing location. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Good evening. Just state your name and address for the record.
My name is Kevin Moore. I live at 3041 New Bern Cove, Oviedo.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to add to staff's presentation?
No, they essentially covered it.
Okay, any questions for the applicant? Yes, sir.
So we're just replacing the existing fence. When you bought the house, you were unaware that, you bought the house basically with the fence.
Exactly.
And you're just wanting to upgrade. and replace.
Exactly.
Same footprint?
Same footprint.
Thank you.
And it looks like they pushed it out 3 feet because of the porch. It'd be right up against the screen.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? We have a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion to approve. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. It's approved. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, last item.
Last item, item number 6, is a variance request for 4557 Dulwick Place located in the estuary at St. John's subdivision. The request is for a side street setback reduction from 15 feet to 10 feet for a privacy fence in the gateway at St. John's planned development. The subject property is a corner lot and has 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Dulwick Place. The Paget Cove side is where the variance is being sought. The request is to construct a 6-foot privacy fence 5 feet into the side street setback. The proposed privacy fence is 10 feet from the sidewalk and 20 feet from the edge of pavement. The proposed privacy fence encroaches into a drainage easement and will be required to meet the criteria for placement with an estoppel letter. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Excuse me. Any questions for staff?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How far from the edge of the sidewalk would the proposed fence be?
10 feet.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know are there any other fences? Would this be the first fence of this type in this neighborhood? Seeing how new it is?
Yeah, it's a really new subdivision. I don't think we've had one corner lot fence on on that same street up on the northern side, we had one go down to 10 feet as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions for staff?
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Sorry.
sir.
Just, you mentioned the fence encroaches into the drainage easement. I mean, I'm
Utility
just looking at
easement.
I can't.
Oh, it
I
is a
don't-
drainage easement, yes.
I don't see the easement dimension on there, but if the house is 15 feet and the fence is 10, it looks like that thing's only 10 feet. I was just wondering where the encroachment on the easement was.
It's going to run, oh, along the back portion, I believe.
So like the fence in that easement will be perpendicular?
Nope, I think you're right. I think it doesn't encroach on it.
I didn't see it, that's why,
Yeah, I don't
that's
see
the
it
only
either.
reason I was questioning. I don't think it really matters, just
Right.
other than whether or not the estoppel letter makes sense.
I probably looked at the utility easement and just added it to my notes.
We just may want to clarify that just in case, but,
Right.
okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Yes, sir. Is there anything you would like to add to staff comments? Okay. All right. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Okay, is there anyone to speak in support of the request? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nope.
All right, motion carries 4-1. Okay, it's approved. Okay, next item will be our minutes. Any additions, changes, deletions to the
Move to
minutes?
approve.
Motion to approve, do we have a second?
Second.
We have 3 seconds?
Just give it to him.
All right, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries, it's approved. All right, last item, calendar for the year. Our next, we don't have a November meeting, by the way, just reminder, we'll meet again in December. What's the date of our next meeting?
December 2nd?
6, okay.
Tomorrow. That's what I would say.
Y'all track 1 or 2 meetings, I know. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the calendar for next year?
So moved.
Do we have a second? All right, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. It's approved. Anything else for the good of the order?
Next month will be a longer meeting.
What's coming?
December.
We've got like 15, 16, so no 23-minute meetings, guys.
Oh, well, sometimes you have to earn your money.
We've got it. We've done it before.
We just set up a little mini bar behind
The
us.
county will double your pay as a thank you. All right,
As a bonus,
we're
you get
dismissed.
double your-
Have a good night.